Hey guys, so the topic of today is that it all starts with you. The reason that I'd like to talk about this topic is because I see a lot of people almost get stuck in this sort of cyclic way of being, and I think it's important to realise that it is possible to break the cycle. If you're not happy with the way that the events of your life are unfolding, then I think it's important to realise that although it can take a bit of work, it's doable. And I think it's important to realise that we're worth the work. I really don't think we were put on this earth to be miserable and unhappy with our lives. And I do think it's possible to somehow evoke a change. So the first way that I would say that did it for me was an acknowledgement of the fact that I wasn't happy. I realised that waking up every day miserable was just not the way I wanted to live my life. Now, whether you're spiritual or not, I don't think it really matters, but I think if you are waking up every day and you're just meh, then I do think it's possible to be able to invest some time into yourself and try and work out what it is that is making you feel that way. So the second step for me would be acceptance. Accepting where you are and knowing that it is possible to get from A to B. So you might be living in sort of like a neutral, maybe quite sad or negative headspace. And I think it's really important to realise that you're never going to wake up every day. You're never going to wake up and just suddenly overnight be like, wow, I'm happy today. It does take a little bit of time, which is why the two quotes that I kind of live my life around is the fact that it's the journey, not the destination. Because if you focus so much on where you want to be, I feel like you're never going to get there. But if you start to slow down and enjoy kind of like the day-to-day sort of regimen and have a goal or a target, yeah, by all means. But I think if we really focus on where we want to be and the fact that we're not there, we just get really down and in this negative headspace. So the other quote is progression, not perfection. And I think it's really important to realise that if you are taking some time out to try and better yourself, then you don't need to justify that to anyone. And whilst I'm there, when you look at other people's lives and start comparing, I think that's quite detrimental to our mental well-being, due to the fact that it can get quite a lot when you know that you want to be in a certain place. However, you're seeing so many other people do it and you're like, why aren't I there? I don't think that's a nice way to kind of treat yourself, because I think it's really important to realise that you can only go at your own pace. You have to be selfish to then be selfless. One of the things I learned on the monastery was that when we can use our minds to benefit ourselves, then we can use it to benefit others. One of the quotes that the monks said to us was that if you're content within yourself, then you can be content with just a glass of water. Now, I really don't think you have to be religious to understand that. I think it's just, if you wake up every day and you're like, oh, I've got to go to work, then you're probably going to have a little bit of a sucky, kind of miserable day. So although you might be in a job where it could feel like it's a bit dead end, if you maybe reflect back throughout your life, look at the things that have changed and maybe stopped. So school, I didn't enjoy school at all. I'm pretty miserable. And that was just a chapter. College, meh. I've had quite a few jobs where I'm just like, oh my God, get me out of this place. So I think the main thing, one of the other main things, should I say, is that impermanence is quite a crucial key to our lives. So impermanence is the fact that everything is basically subject to change. Another thing which we covered in the monastery is that the only thing that's permanent in our life is the fact that we're going to die. Now, when we first got told that, in my head I was like, that's a bit heavy. But the way that they look at it is to be like, the fact that we're going to die is pretty beautiful, so we can at least make our time on earth count. No one knows how many days we have, and I do think it's quite important to realise that we are able to create a life of not necessarily positivity, because I think everyone's perception of that is different, but if you can at least be content, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure these days for everyone to be happy. If you looked happy all the time, you'd probably look like you were clinically ill. Just hi. No, we all have shit days. We're only human. We can literally only do the best with the little that we have. But I feel like a contentness goes a long way. Okay, you might wake up miserable, but you could be content with the fact that you're unhappy today, as long as you realise that you're not going to be unhappy for the foreseeable future. You are going to have moments that lift you up, and you're going to have moments to lift you down. So again, it all starts with you. If you're stuck in this cyclic way of being and you're not happy with your job, I think it is important to just take a step back. And again, it's not going to change overnight, but little by little and step by step. If you put in some hard work just to try and understand your brain a bit better, enjoy and live for today, because the past is the past and we can't control the future. So we may as well deal with the shit that happens. And I also think it's really important to try and not worry about things that are out of your control. And I know that it is a lot easier said than done. Anyone that knows me from my past will know that I was just one of the most anxious people you could probably ever meet. I also think I had a bit of social anxiety and never knew how to sort of embrace with people and stuff like that. So I've really got myself quite a long way, and not even in a big-headed sense, but I'm very proud of the progression I've made into the person who I'm becoming. And I might have quite far to go, but I'm not putting any more pressure on myself. I'm going to talk a little bit more in the upcoming videos as to some of my mindset. I think as well, if you are unhappy with the way that you are, it's really good for you to look at your close circle. Look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with on a daily basis. Look at their influences into your life, because I have noticed that there are certain things that people might say or do that I've kind of noticed within myself a few times, and I had to look at myself and be like, Leia, this isn't you. So just to slow down, take a quiet breath, and yeah, I'm a huge advocate of meditation. I do not do it half as near as much as I want to. But again, like I said yesterday, I'm not putting pressure on myself to do so. So in Buddhist terms, the meditation means to acquaint and familiarise, which is basically to just go into yourself with loving kindness and just look at how this operates. So I watched a really interesting video last night, which was put up on Instagram by RUSSEL brand. I'm going to put the link in the comment section below because I think it's worth people having a look. The other thing that I'm going to put in a link as well is ABRHAM HICKS. Now, these videos have definitely shaped the way I'm kind of living my daily life, and I listen to these videos quite frequently. So I will talk about these a little bit more in upcoming videos. I do apologise on being so vague. However, 10 minutes I think is my maximum for these videos, or I will bore the crap out of you guys. So thank you very much for watching. I'll have another topic tomorrow. I'm going to keep these going due to the fact that I'm cutting out alcohol and junk food. So it's just just going to keep me going with my mindset. So peace and love, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.